You took that right out of my mouth, Ken. We got to find you more funding, sir. Yeah, and so the interesting thing was that in my experience with doing this stripping and dewatering, when I do apply the liquid back to the soil, I get aggregation almost immediately. So I'm clearly charging the organic material that does pass through the micron screen that I'm using at this whatever particular job I'm doing. Definitely is exciting the electrons and the protons, because otherwise they wouldn't just naturally pull the aggregates together so quickly in soil. Like, for instance, the sand and the clay platelets just seem to just right together real quick. So I gotta believe that it is definitely affecting the easy water that is in the organisms, in the biology itself, because we get explosive growth.
Well, it could be that, but when things aggregate, there could be a number of different reasons why. And in my fourth phase book, I discuss that in detail. For example, if you put two negatively charged blobs in water, you expect they're going to repel each other, but in fact, a number of people have shown, including us, that they come together, they attract one another, and it's completely counterintuitive. But the reason, and I'm not the one who came up with the reason, it was actually the great physicist Richard Feynman, who said, he called it like likes like. So if two like charges like each other, they come together. And that's what happens when you put the like charges in the water. They actually come together. You'd expect that they do the opposite, but they come together. And he said the reason they do that is so like likes like, so they like each other, because of an intermediate of unlikes. So you got two negative charged blobs, and if you got positive charges in between, they will attract, and that's what happens. And the reason you get positive charges, we found, there's a nice book. The reason you get the positive charges, as easy water builds around each of those negative particles, protons are released, and those protons are at high concentration between the two of them, and so they're pulled together. We've confirmed it, other people have confirmed that it's totally counterintuitive, but the mechanism seems to be that.
So they get close, but they don't connect. They
can, depending on the situation, they can connect, but usually they'll be stable at some particular distance. But if you can imagine big spheres, they'll touch at one point, but on top of and beneath this touching point, you could have a lot of positive charges that keep the two spheres in contact with another. So it depends on it's a quantitative consideration. Usually they'll be at some distance apart, but sometimes they can touch.
Fascinating, my friend. Fascinating.
Yeah, well, it's fun. And all of this is described in great detail. And I don't know where you got that slide, but the book has turned out to be very, very popular. I won't.
And there's a lot of other books on Amazon, guys. So it's and audio books, movies, etc. Like there's Cells, Gels, The Engines of Life. Gerald is well written, and you guys should all be reading those books.
And hopefully, when you buy them, you're getting some royalties, my friend.
Well, I'll tell you about that. So the publisher is me. We publish our own book. It's called Ebner and Sons, and Ebner is the nickname of my son. And the reason for doing it that way is if it's a scientific book, and if you look at scientific books, say on Amazon, you'll see them priced at $100 or $200. It means that the publishers make money on the number that they sell. And they don't sell too many because not too many people have it. And we're interested not in profit, but in dissemination. And so you'll find on Amazon the price is, I think, less than $30. And the reason, and it turns out that it is selling very nicely, but we don't really make money on this. It goes by my son is not only the artist, he's a professional artist, and he's great. If you flip through the fourth phase, you'll see wonderful art. But he runs the publishing company too, and takes care of all the stuff that I couldn't possibly take care of. And the other advantage of that is that we can publish it as we like. We can choose the format that's most appealing. We don't have to listen to what a reviewer says about, oh, you should remove this chapter because it's too speculative or something like that. We publish it as we like to publish it, and so if you look at the reviews, sometimes if I feel a little depressed on some day, I look at the Amazon reviews and I feel better.